Before money existed, people in ancient India used a system called barter. They traded goods and services directly with each other. For example, a farmer might exchange a bag of rice for a clay pot made by a potter, and a weaver could trade a piece of cloth for some vegetables from a market gardener. This system worked well in small communities where everyone knew each other and their needs were, pretty simple. However, as villages grew into towns and trade routes expanded, the barter system became very complicated and inefficient. It was difficult to agree on the exact value of different items, and carrying bulky goods for trade was not always practical. The limitations of the barter system created a need for something more convenient. People started looking for an object that everyone would accept as a form of payment. This object needed to be durable, portable, and have a consistent value that everyone could agree upon. Metals were the perfect solution. Copper in particular became very important. It was one of the first metals that humans learned to extract and work with. It was strong, did not rust easily, and could be melted and shaped into different forms. Its distinct reddish-brown color made it easy to recognize, and its relative scarcity gave it value, making it an ideal medium for early trade. The use of copper as a form of currency marked a significant step in India's economic history. Initially, people traded with simple, unformed lumps of copper. The value of these pieces was determined by their weight. A trader would carry a small set of scales to weigh the copper during each transaction. This was a major improvement over bartering live animals or heavy sacks of grain. It made trade faster, easier, and more reliable. This early use of metal by weight laid the essential groundwork for the development of the first true coins, which would soon revolutionize commerce across the entire subcontinent. The journey of Indian currency is a long and fascinating story, and copper plays a central role in it. From the earliest lumps of metal used in the Indus Valley civilization to the sophisticated coins of later empires, copper has been a constant presence. It was the metal of the common person, used for everyday transactions, that formed the backbone of the economy. Studying these copper coins gives us a unique window into the past. They tell us about the rise and fall of empires, the evolution of art and technology, and the daily lives of people who lived thousands of years ago, connecting us directly to India's rich cultural and economic heritage. The first true coins in India appeared around the 6th century BCE. These were known as punch-marked coins, and they were, honestly, a revolutionary invention. Unlike the earlier metal lumps, these coins were flat pieces of metal with specific marks stamped onto them. Copper was a common material for these early coins, especially for smaller denominations used in daily markets. The process of making them was entirely manual. A metalsmith would first melt the copper and pour it into molds to create small, flat blanks. Then, using a hammer and a set of punches, they would strike different symbols onto the surface of the metal. These punch-marked copper coins were irregular in shape, often square, rectangular, or roundish. They did not have any writing on them. Instead, they featured various symbols that represented different things. Some symbols were geometric, like dots, circles, and crescents. Others were inspired by nature, such as images of the sun, trees, hills, or animals like elephants and bulls. Each of these symbols likely represented the authority that issued the coin, such as a local kingdom or a powerful merchant guild. The presence of multiple punches on a single coin suggests that it was verified by several authorities as it traveled along trade routes, ensuring its authenticity and value. The Mauryan Empire, which began around 322 BCE, brought significant changes to India's coinage. For the first time, a large centralized empire created a standardized currency system across a vast territory. While silver coins were used for large transactions, copper coins were produced in massive quantities for everyday use by the general population. The Mauryan copper coins, known as karshapanas or panas, were more uniform in weight and design than earlier punch-marked coins. This standardization helped to unify the empire's economy, making trade simpler and more efficient from the northern mountains to the southern plains. The Mauryan copper coins continued to use the punch-marking technique, but the symbols became more consistent. The most common symbols associated with the Mauryan dynasty were the sun and a six-armed symbol. The presence of these specific marks on coins found across India is powerful evidence of the empire's vast administrative control. These coins were not just pieces of metal, they were symbols of imperial power and economic stability. They allowed the government to collect taxes, pay soldiers, and fund large public projects, transforming the economic landscape of ancient India and setting a new standard for currency. Following the decline of the Mauryan Empire, new powers entered the Indian subcontinent, bringing with them new ideas about coinage. The Indo-Greeks, who ruled parts of northwestern India from around the 2nd century BCE, introduced a completely different style of coin. Their coins were a major technological and artistic leap forward. They were perfectly round, die-struck, and featured realistic portraits of the ruling kings on one side. This was a concept borrowed from Hellenistic traditions. On the other side, they often depicted Greek deities or symbols. This fusion of Greek and Indian elements created some of the most beautiful coins in ancient history. The Indo-Greeks were among the first to issue copper coins that were not just functional, but also served as a form of royal propaganda. The king's portrait, often shown with great detail and personality, made it clear who was in power. The inscriptions on these coins were also a new feature. They were bilingual, written in both Greek on one side and a local Indian script, like Kharosti or Brahmi, on the other. This practice showed respect for the local population and made the coins understandable to a wider audience. The use of copper for these detailed coins meant that even the common people were exposed to these new artistic styles and royal images. The Shakas and Kushans, who followed the Indo-Greeks in ruling northern and central India, continued and adapted these new coinage traditions. The Shakas, also known as the Scythians, adopted the practice of placing the king's portrait on their coins. The Kushan Empire, which reached its peak in the 2nd century CE, produced a vast and diverse range of copper coins. These coins are particularly fascinating because they reflect the empire's multicultural nature. Kushan rulers like Kanishka I depicted a wide variety of deities on their coins, including Greek, Iranian, and Hindu gods. This showed their tolerance and their desire to appeal to the many different peoples within their vast empire. The Kushans also made significant improvements to the production of copper coins. Their coins were mass-produced with a high degree of quality and standardization. They were heavier and larger than many earlier copper coins, which gave people confidence in their value. The Kushan copper currency played a crucial role in facilitating trade along the Silk Road, which passed through their territory. These coins have been found as far away as Central Asia and even Rome, demonstrating the extensive trade networks of the time. The era of the Indo-Greeks, Shakas, and Kushans thus represents a period of incredible innovation and cultural exchange, all beautifully captured in their copper coinage. The Gupta Empire, which flourished from the 4th to the 6th century CE, is often called the Golden Age of ancient India. This period was marked by extraordinary achievements in art, science, and literature. The Guptas are most famous for their magnificent gold coins, which are celebrated for their artistic excellence and intricate designs. These gold coins, known as dinaras, often depicted the Gupta kings as heroic figures, engaged in activities like hunting lions or playing musical instruments. They were symbols of imperial grandeur and prosperity, used for large state transactions and to reward high-ranking officials. However, a kingdom's economy is not built on gold alone. For daily life, the Gupta Empire relied heavily on a less glamorous but equally important metal, copper. The Guptas issued a wide variety of copper coins for everyday commerce in markets and towns. These coins were essential for the common people to buy food, cloth, and other necessities. While they were not as artistically refined as the gold coins, Gupta copper coinage still carried the mark of the empire. They often featured a portrait of the king on one side and a symbol, like the mythical eagle Garuda, the dynastic emblem of the Guptas, on the other. The production of Gupta copper coins was simpler than that of their gold counterparts. They were often smaller and more crudely made, reflecting their use in high-volume, low-value transactions. The inscriptions were typically in the Brahmi script and were often abbreviated, simply stating the name of the ruling king. Despite their humble appearance, these copper coins were the lifeblood of the Gupta economy. Their widespread circulation demonstrates a well-organized and monetized society, where even small transactions were conducted using official currency. The sheer quantity of these coins found by archaeologists across northern India speaks to a bustling and prosperous economy. The long journey of the copper coin tells a remarkable story about India's economic and cultural evolution. From its beginnings as simple metal lumps in a barter society, it transformed into a symbol of imperial authority under the Mauryans. It became a canvas for cross-cultural artistic expression under the Indo-Greeks and Kushans, and later served as the workhorse of the Gupta economy. The legacy of copper coinage is profound. These small, durable discs connected empires with common people, facilitated trade across vast distances, and preserved the images and names of long-forgotten kings. They are not just artifacts. They are tangible pieces of history that continue to teach us about the rich and complex tapestry of India's past.